Hi everyone, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and here we are in that sort of that no man's land between Christmas and New Year. Everybody forgets what day it is and everything, don't they? So here we are. Today is, oh no, it's Saturday. Oh, I just realised it's Saturday and I haven't done a Porsche video. Oops, I'll have to try and get something out a little later. Sorry. Anyway, it's Saturday and I've had a Christmas gift, delivery, whatever you want to call it, from Rob and Allison over at Brooks Models. So thank you very, very much, guys. And also had in there a lovely Christmas card from Rob and Allison, as you can see, over at Brooks Models. So excuse my arm, I've cut myself and I didn't have any of the long plasters. So I think this is the one you put, like if you get a cut in here, isn't it? So I put a piece of tissue under there and yeah. That's what we do, us engineers. See, we improvise. Right. So yeah, I've got 4 items to show you today, and they're all fairly new to this country, and they are all God Hand products. You've seen me using the God Hand nippers on my Tiger build, and they are very, very nice. They have a disadvantage, but they have many, many advantages. And I know that for many, many years these were kind of, you know, the actual Rolls Royce of nippers. The downside of them, I'll get away straight away, is because they're only single-edged, okay, they have, basically you have like your standard Tamiya nippers like this, or your good old, you know, your good old budget ones where you've got the steel press blades. They have this coming together action, and basically you have a blade on each side and the back end is flush. Alright, so you can see there the back end there is flush, there's no step. With these, they have like an anvil and a chisel, if you like. So you've got like a chisel edge here, and you've got a blunt edge there. When it comes together, they don't actually come together, there's a screw here that stops them coming together. You end up with a step, which means if you've got a sprue gate, well, I'll show you in a minute, but basically that's the downside, and that is the only downside. But you know, for most sprue gates, these things are absolutely brilliant. So what I've got here are the fancy versions. I forget the name of them now. It's probably written on here. Yeah, the SPN 120, and these are the professional. What they've come up with is a GHPN, and they say it's for a beginner, is on their website. That's what they say. But it's basically the same principle, only the blade is thicker. And it looks like, actually, if we get them out, and one thing I'm going to show you as well, you should always read the instructions with these. It looks like the blades are shorter. Nope, they're exactly the same length. But you can see there, the blades are, this is the cutting side here, this is the cutting side on the left. And you can see when I put them next to each other, you can see how much thicker that blade is. So, you know, I have had a couple of people have commented on my channel recently and said they've got these and they've dropped them and that blade is just sheared off. So bear that in mind. You know, so these are also cheaper as well. They're £10 cheaper. So bear that in mind. So we're going to give these a go. I haven't even tried them yet, but you can see we've got a PN 120 on that one, and this one has an SPN 120. So there we go. As I say, they're £10 cheaper. Now, what a lot of people don't know about these is the correct way to use them. And if you take this card out and actually look, they show you how to use them. Okay, and what they're basically showing you here is don't try and cut through thick sprues or massive thick parts. You will break them. And you can see here what I was just talking about. You've got the chisel and the anvil. You've got your stop here, which sets your sets it so that the blades aren't actually under any pressure when they close up. Okay, and then you've got that stop there, that pin there, that stops them opening too far, which is a great thing. I know that certainly the brown and anodized or the brown anodized Citadel ones, I don't have them here, you put them down and they open right up and you can't pick them up again. Whereas with these, you know, it's the same with the Tamiya ones. They don't open enough so that you can't pick them up, which is a good thing. And then you've got the stop there, as I say, which is actually to stop them coming together and breaking the blade. So what they're showing you here is if you're going to cut through thick parts, don't use the ends of the blades. Come down as deep as you can. All right, so if we imagine this cocktail stick is a piece of sprue, don't cut there, okay, right on the end of the blades, cut back here, okay, and that's where it's stronger, obviously. Not quite sure what they're trying to show us there, but I don't know what they're trying to say there. I should get my translator out. And here again they're saying, you know, don't use the end of the blades, cut them in the middle. So don't use the end, use the middle. All right. I think that's just a continuation of the same thing. So what they're showing you here is how to actually use them to remove parts from a sprue. And I'm going to show you that now. Now here we've got a sprue. This is from the Magic Factory M10 that I did a review of recently. And what you will see is, if we look at these parts, you can see that on this side, this part here, on this side, the sprue gate is flush with the surface, okay? And on this side, the sprue gate is shrunk down in. It's easier to see on something like this, okay? On this side here, you can see the sprue gate is flush with the surface. So the mold tool is flat up to that sprue gate. And then when you come over the other side, you can see we've got a step. You can see in here, there is a step, okay? So the correct way to use these nippers is not to just go straight in, is to come in and cut. Don't forget, go in as far as you can and leave some sprue gate on there. Okay, so we've got our part here, all right, and now we've got the sprue gates on there. And as you can see, this side is dead flush where those sprue gates are, and this side has a step. And what you can do, remember, if you hold them like this, if you're right-handed like I am, the top blade is the sharp one. So I can come here, I can butt, let's get this close to the camera, I can butt the blade up to the plastic there and cut down. All right, and now you can see we've got hardly any sprue gate left. I can do the same over here, butt that up there, cut down, we've got hardly any sprue gate left. And then literally grab your skinny stick or whatever you want to use and just sound like that. Gone. Okay, now you can do the same thing with your Tamiya nippers, which Rob also sells over at Brooks Models. And as you can see, you can do it in one. You don't have to do the cutting in two thing. All right, but I can't get in there on that one anyway. And that's the other downside with the God hands. You can't actually get into that part to cut it off, because if you do it this way round, okay, you can see that blade is thicker, so I can't actually butt it up against there. And that's where the Tamiya ones come in handy, or the double-edged cutters come in handy, not necessarily the Tamiya ones. So we've got more of a sprue gate to sand off. Okay, so that's the only downside really. I mean, and that is really literally nothing. But you can see here that one is so easy to sand off, although it's not as easy as when I did it with the God hand. Okay, so there we go, there's those sprue gates gone. So that's two parts now I can lose from my M10. I'll put those over there out the way. And as I say, if you've got parts on here, if you've got a part on here which is like it, I'm looking for a part where the sprue gate, here we go. So something like, this would be better. Something like this, you can see here, the sprue gate is not flush on this side, and it's not flush on that side either. Okay, so you would come in with your God hands, cut like that, away from the part. Okay, that's probably a bit close to the end of the blade there. And then what you can do is butt the blade up in there nice and tight. But as you can see, when I cut it, because this blade here sticks out this way further than this blade, you're always going to get a bit of a sprue gate left behind. It's still lovely and neat and tidy, but you will still get that gate left behind. Okay, so you can see we've still got a sprue gate there left behind. So that's where the Tamiya ones come in handy, because once again we have one here which isn't flush. You can just cut them off like so. Okay, cut them off like that, and then you can come in and just cut your sprue gates off, and it's better than you get with this because you have that flush side. So, but when you actually look at your kits, when you look at your models, I mean, you can see, for example, on this sprue, I've cut off two that aren't suitable for the God hands, but pretty much that one's not. That one is, 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 that one, that one. You see, all of these are suitable. They've all got that one doesn't. That one doesn't, but all of the others do. They have this flush side on them. So you can see 90% of the parts you have in your kit are suitable, and even those that aren't, you can still get a really nice job with these. Now the other beauty of these is they're made from Kobe steel. They're very, very hard, and they should last a very, very long time. So bear that in mind. I know the Tamiya cutters, I love these. They're very, very good, but they don't last that long. We're going to see how we get on with these. I mean, I've practically built that whole King Tiger with these, and I've used them on some other stuff as well. And there is no sign of any wear whatsoever, and they still just cut like butter. So worth remembering. So that's the God hand. So you've got these that are available from Brooks Models, and these are $49.95, and these are $39.95. So they're £10 cheaper, and they're stronger. So you can go and get yourself a set of these and see what you think. If you've already tried these or you want to go straight to the top, get yourself those. They're $49.95. So moving along, and by the way, these are the GH God hand PN 120, and these are the SPN 120. Okay, so we'll put those back in their pack so you can see how you will see them on Rob's screen. All right, so we can put that back in there like that, slide that back in there like that. There we go. That's our GH PN 120, and these are the SPN 120. Okay, so next up we've got two sets of tweezers. Now these are, I did give these a go, and they are very, very nice indeed. What I should have done was got myself some parts to show you the picking up, and I've got some here, but we'll have to cut them off. So basically what we've got here is two sets of tweezers. We've got the SH and the SB. The SB is pointed, okay, and the SH, get those out of the way, the SH has a flatter end on it, okay. So we have the SB and the SH. Now I think these tweezers are lovely. The main reason being they're quite thick, and they need quite a bit of pressure to use. They're not like, these here, I've actually just damaged these. They're very, very easy to press. You can't really feel what's going on. But with these, they need quite a bit of pressure to get them together. And when you hold something, you really are holding it. And they have this beautiful little flat end on them. And one of their sales lines with God Hand is they say, this end is neither curved nor straight. Well, if it's neither curved nor straight, what is it? Made me laugh when I read that line. And they actually show you got a dotted yellow line on the advert. So it's neither curved nor straight. If you ask me, that's curved, I think. But they are lovely, lovely tweezers. I've got a piece of photo etch here. I've just noticed on the side. So you can see that when you want to hold something small, they really do grip it really, really well. I can, it's very, very, it's nice that they are that tough. If you wanted to put that down or indeed pick it up, then you can. That's how nice they are. I mean, admittedly, this is when they're brand new. When the tips start to wear, they probably need to be ground back, but they have a very sharp end on them, so you can pick stuff up like that. Okay, which you can't often do with other blunt tweezers. And then these here, these things are lethal. They're just like the anise tweezers. Very, very sharp. Again, they're neither curved nor straight. So, as I say, these are the SB, and exactly the same. They're very, very tough. They're thick, they're strong. Lots of tweezers, when you close them together, they do this. They flick your parts across the room. They won't do that. Again, I can pick that up like that, as you can see. I mean, that is a very, very thin piece of photo etch, and I'm able to just pick that up just like so. All right, and then I can slide under it like that, put some glue on, put it into place. So that's a really, really nice thing about it. And also when you've got tiny little plastic parts like these, again, I need quite a bit of force, but I can hold that in there and I can hold the whole sprue and it's not going anywhere. For that I would be tempted to use these because you have the flat end. Again, I can hold these parts just like so. So there we are. So that's the SH with the flat ends, and that is the SB. If you're only going to buy one set of these, I would go for these because they are very, very nice indeed. And I've never seen another pair of tweezers with ends like that. Okay, you all know that I love my Anise tweezers, and they've got the pointed ends as well. But I think these they're exactly the same thing really. They're just harder. They're not harder to use. They need more effort to close them up, which I think is a good thing because you're closing them up, and I can squeeze them as hard as I like. As you can see, I can squeeze them so hard that I'm closing them up together, and the ends are staying. They're not doing that, which is when you get your parts getting flicked across the room. Same here, I can squeeze these together. You can see the ends, they're not doing this, which is what cheap tweezers do. I don't know if these will do it. There you go. The ends of these are knackered, but you can see that as you squeeze them together, try it with your, if you've got some cheapy pointed tweezers, you squeeze them together and the ends just do that, and that's when your parts get flicked off. So that's your God Hand tweezers. As I say, they're the SB and they are the SH, the flat-ended ones, and they are available on the website, and they are $24.95 each. Okay, so they're not the cheapest tweezers on the planet, but they are very, very nice, and it's not until you've got them in your hands. If you don't want to buy them, get to a show or something in the new year where somebody's got them in stock and try them out for yourself. But I think they're absolutely great. I think they're really, really nice. And this thing with having them quite tough, you kind of, it's hard to explain. You kind of feel like you have more control. I can just pick that up and just hold it, and I'm not dropping it or anything. I'm not flicking it across the room. It's just really, really nice. So yeah, I'm going to be using these a lot in future builds, so look out for those. You'll see me using them. And then finally we have some Scribers. Now what I should have done was got some parts here to test. So what I can do is turn the camera off, grab a couple of scrap parts to test them on, and also get something to put them in, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so what we've got here is the God Hand GHRN set, and these are another type of Scriber, as if we didn't have enough Scribers already. So we've got the curve and the Durand, and I think what they're saying here is the curve and straight. I've had a look on the back of here with my iPhone translator. It's basically saying here these are fantastic for following any shape you want to do or anything. And this one here, it's like a tri-bladed thing, and they say that with enough practice you can even do perfectly straight lines without an edge to go against. I can't quite see how that's going to happen, but whatever. That's what they're saying. So they come in a lovely little box here, and you can see this can open up and it holds them in, and you can see here they're marked up. So we got this is the RN, so this is going to be the curve, and then this one here, oh, that's the RN as well. This one's G. Okay, so Gerard is going to be straight line, I'm guessing, and I don't know if you can see that. Have a look on the Brooks Models website and you'll see it on there. Basically it's like a tri-blade. It's very, very sharp. It's got 3 flats ground on it, and then this one here is just a sharp point, but it's not like pin sharp. It's almost like it's ground and then it has a cut in it. So I've got my Scriber here, my pin vise. So I'm just going to hold that in a pin vise. And what they're saying is this is really good for following any shapes. So what we'll try first, we'll just try following along that scribe line there. And it is very nice. I can feel it's not digging in. It is actually removing material, but it's doing it very, very lightly. And it's following in there absolutely beautifully. Now they say they're good for going any shapes, so we'll go on to this fuel filler here. Wow, I must admit that is Let's try this circle here. Oh, it came out then. I'll tell you what, with some practice I can feel straight away that it's much better than anything else I've got for going into these shapes. It's sort of staying in that curve. If you can see there, I came out then. I mean, if you use something like this with a point, it's very difficult to, you can see straight away it comes out. It's kind of, it's almost like a radius point on it. I'm going to have a look through my magnifier and see what it looks like. But it's yeah, it's almost like it's ground, and then it has like a, I don't know, it's about 60 degrees, I'd say. I'd say it's about 60 degrees inclusive. Sorry, 30 degrees inclusive. No, 60 degrees inclusive, what am I talking about? But it does follow, it follows these existing scribed lines beautifully. And I think it's going to be a really handy tool for when you're trying to, you know, when you've done some sanding and you've lost your, you've kind of lost your, you know, you lose some of your detail like this. You sand away and you've, you know, you've practically sanded away that there. So we'll see how it follows in the old line. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's always going to work best if you, as a trailing edge, if you drag it rather than try and push it. But you can see that is staying in there. But the other nice thing about it is it's not doing loads of cutting. So as you can see, I can lightly scratch this over here. And it's not, it's hardly, so if you do come out, if you slip out of the groove, it's not going to make much mess because it's not really removing much material. It's also good for riveting as well because it's not just a totally sharp point. It's like a radius end. But yeah, very, very nice. Not a radius end. It's like a double end. Now this one here, this one is 4 straight lines. So we'll see. And as you can see and hear, that one's cutting. Now I don't know what this one will be like for following. Will this follow around on here? Yeah, see, they're saying it doesn't, but it's not as easy. It doesn't want to stay in the groove as easy as the other one. But what they're saying, you can actually do scribed lines straight without a rule. I can't see how that's ever going to happen, but basically I can come along here. 1, 2. I've got a nice scribed line there, and as you can see, it has a raised edge around it, so that's a bit of a downside. But easily sanded away. And what's good is you can see that when I sand it away, instead of just having like a really sharp scratched line, we actually have a panel line. So that's really nice. And then obviously here, because we already have scribed lines here, we can easily follow those like so. Okay, it's always easier if you're scribing, guys, it's always easier to do it on the bench. Now what they're saying is you can do a straight line with no practice, with no straight edge. And that's not very straight, is it? It's not bad. I don't quite know how that works, but I'm able to come down here and do it. It works. It's kind of, look at that line I've just done there. That is perfectly straight. So if we come over with the sanding stick, reveal those scribed lines, you can see that that one on the right was done with the rule. These other 3 were done freehand. And you can see that one's a bit wonky in the middle. That one is just dead straight. That one's a bit wonky. But that's because it was going over the lee edge. I mean, blimey. I I recommend these guys, I really do. What's really nice about the pointy one is it's not taking out loads of material like this one does. They're also very tough. I know a lot of Scribers, you know, you damage them very easily, but these look to be quite tough. I'm not sure this is the ideal tool to hold them. Maybe a smaller pin vise, or even just, you know, if you've got a little lathe or something, make up a little wooden handle, something to press them into. I think that would be far superior. But holding them in this big pin vise, I don't think is really the best way to use them. But I thoroughly recommend those. Give them a go for what they cost, because they're $12.99 for the pair, which in this day and age isn't a lot. But you know, for 2 Scribers for $12.99, they are really, really nice. And you can see how fine and how in scale, you compare them to these lines here. This is a 1/48 scale Airfix Gannet wing, but you can see how in scale they are with the existing panel lines. Very, very nice indeed. So I want to say a massive thank you to Rob and Allison for sending me this stuff over. And you will see me using all of this in future builds. As I say, that Scriber there, that's probably the nicest Scriber I've ever seen for going in curves, for going in, you know, and re-scribing your fuel fillers or whatever. Because as you can see, I've gone round that 3 or 4 times, that one, and it's still not done. And I've been over the surface, and you can see it's not damaged it at all. It's not going in and gouging. Whereas if you go with something like this, here's a sharp pointed tool. If I come in here and I slide out like that, okay, it leaves a scratch. You can see if I sand that lightly, you can see there's a scratch where the tool has been. Whereas with that one, it doesn't seem to do it. I'll try and give you a better demonstration on another day. That's very nice indeed. I wonder, actually, I've just thought of something. I wonder if they'd be better with no tool at all. Just hold them in your hand. So I'm following along there, along there. Yeah, came out there, look. Come along there. I'm going to come down here, along there, around that radius. Look at that. Down here, along that angle, down there, down that line there, down that line there. Just getting careless with it now, look. Do that one there. Really, really is impressive stuff. Down here, this is where I did a very thick coat of clear. So what it's going to do there, it's going to peel the clear out because it's not bonded to the plastic very well, but not really a good test in that area there. But I guess for a little bit of work, if you're just doing a little touch up, just hold it in your hand like that. If you're doing a whole model, obviously you end up with cramping your fingers. So there we go. That's the Scribers. So we've had a look at the Tweezers, the SH and the SB. We've had a look at the Scribers. And we've had a look at what they call beginners single cutted nippers. And there's the advanced ones there, the SPN. So there we are. As I say, $39.95 for those, $24.95 each for the Tweezers, and $12.99 for the Scriber set there. Don't forget, if you go over to brooksmodels.com, if you spend between $15 and £49.99, you will use code NMB10 and you'll get 10% off. So that means you can get 10% off of those. So they're going to end up costing you about £36, I think that is. You will be able to get 10% off of the Tweezers, so they'll be $22.50 thereabouts. Okay. Now with these, they don't reach the £15 threshold, so you'll have to buy them and something else, a bottle of glue or a bottle of paint or something, to get you 10% off. If you were to buy those two there, okay, that would be $39.95. Well, if you were to buy these and these Scribers, that would be £39.95 plus £12.99, which is 40 plus 13, which is £53, all but a few pennies. And you can then use code NMB20 because you spent over £50 and get 20% off. So that'll be £53 minus £10.60. So you're going to end up basically getting these for free pretty much. Yeah. There you are. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon. Get yourself over to brooksmodels.com. Those codes I just gave you, they apply to anything on the website. Kits, paints, glues, whatever. He's got the VMS range of everything, which you know is absolutely amazing. So, and he's also got God hand tools and stuff as well now. So get yourself on over there and have a look. And if you want him to stock something that he doesn't stock, perhaps drop him an email and ask him if he would consider stocking it. I'm sure he will. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.